Hello, Nanner Nation. There's a few housekeeping things I wanted to get out of the way, and I needed to fill a few minutes of this episode, so here we go. First of all, the following episode is an old recording that we never ended up airing. Originally, I was going to do another solo episode for today, but I didn't have time. Time is always escaping me. Anyway, as far as other updates go, I wanted to say a few words about world-building chaos. For anyone who listens that's on the Discord, I did make a post about this a few days ago, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit on that. Unfortunately, I tend to take on too much. The channel's in a great place, but it lends itself to me spreading myself too thin. At the moment, I'm responsible for some form of content being posted somewhere every day. D&D editions are on Sundays, podcasts is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We stream on Wednesday, and the VODs for those come out on Mondays. Saturday's the gag reel, and Fridays, well, for the moment, Fridays are empty, but they won't be because Drunk Before Noon is going to come back soon. All that said, I have very little time to myself. Not that I'm complaining. I'm really happy that things are picking up so much steam. It's just more steam than I realized. Probably more than I was prepared for. So for now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put world building chaos on the back burner. I can't give it the time it deserves right now. But I want to keep the Discord open. And also, I want to keep collecting characters and items and stories and, just save the stuff that you're using in your campaigns. That's what I've been doing. I'm definitely going to be putting Studebaker Peppercorn into the world building chaos. And as far as the YouTube memberships and patrons go, we're actively working on a format for behind-the-scenes content that you'll have exclusive access to. And we're also getting better merch designed. Thank you for your patience and understanding. I'm still figuring out this success thing. Also, regarding the second album, I haven't officially announced it anywhere, but I'll let you know I'm shooting for Halloween. It's my plan to have the album completely recorded by the end of August, so that my production team can spend the month of August editing and mixing, and then I can spend the month of September doing marketing for the album. I might even do pre-orders. I'm not really sure on that, but I'll keep you in the loop. As for the podcast, that's going to stay the same for now. I'm very grateful for all the love and support everyone shows, and I know Justin and Cody are too. I think we have a cool thing going here, so naturally I'll follow that up by sending you into this old, unaired episode of the No Big Banana podcast. It's weird. We talk about chips.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm embarrassed.
Oh my god, it was the funniest article I've ever read in my entire life.
I watched a couple of compilation videos on YouTube. I've got it all figured out.
You're listening to the No Big Banana podcast.
Welcome back to the No Big Banana podcast. My name is Charles.
I'm Justin.
I'm Cody.
And the Oscars is on right now.
Cool.
Who's Oscar?
Not when you're listening to this, but when we're recording it, it is.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Okay.
A whole bunch of rich people go and pat themselves on the back.
God damn it, Cody. It's been 30 seconds. I don't think I even told either of you about it. But my character is a goth monk, and his name is Pontius. He had a younger brother that he sold for 30 pieces of silver to buy like ball bearings and coffee and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Ball bearings. I love how ball bearings is the first thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it's a monk thing. Like I just like tossing ball bearings at people so that way they trip over shit and then I get advantage.
Yeah, ball bearings
awesome.
are fun.
And then my older brother's name is Judas, but he's a dick. So
Probably.
yeah, so I don't talk to him.
I wonder why.
So he's just like listening to that world's equivalent of like the Misfits or Black Flag.
Yeah.
By the way, I love how you're Pontius and Judas is the dick in this scenario.
Yeah, man.
Like, yeah, but
Pontius
that
got a
guy-
rough deal, bro.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, dude, I could use 30 pieces of silver right now.
He got a bad rap? Yeah,
can
30
use it
pieces
right now.
of silver would be good.
It's still a
Is
lot of
silver
money.
worth more than gold?
I don't think so, but it's
I don't
still
think
worth
so.
quite a bit. I can tell, this is so stupid, but my dad taught me how to hear for silver coins in change. So, like, if you drop coins on a countertop, I can tell you which ones are silver and which ones are not.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't ever really do anything with it, like, you used to collect the silver.
You don't
cores.
like to use it to fight crime.
No, yeah. I'm not like that, man. Favorite album? Like, if you had to pick one album to listen to, you could only choose one. I'll open it up to different genres. One for
Okay.
each genre.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Alternative Rock, Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette.
Okay.
That's all I
Not
need.
what I expected. My first one that comes to mind is Mad Villainy.
Yeah,
I can listen
MF
to that
Doom.
thing front and back many, many times.
Yeah.
Maybe ATLiens.
Oh, yeah.
It's really up there for me. Cheer Up by Real Big Fish.
Really?
A little ska?
Oh, dude.
Okay. Probably, I forget which Black Flag album it is, but there's one in particular that, like, no matter how many times I listen to it, I think My War, I think is the one I'm thinking of.
I don't know, Black Flag.
Oh, dude, get on it. So
That's
good. Henry
really-
Rollins shit? Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he was on Rogan recently.
Oh my god,
He's been on
you know,
Rogan
the
a couple
person was on
times.
Rogan
He's been
recently.
on
I
Rogan a
swear to
couple
God, every time I bring up anybody's name, it's like, hey, did you hear they were on Rogan recently?
Yeah, which is why Rogan is awesome,
Yeah,
because
he is
you
awesome.
can throw a fucking stick and hit somebody famous that's been on Joe Rogan.
Oh, dude, everybody. That's gotta be weird, though. That's gotta be super weird for him now to be like the biggest platform.
Oh yeah.
Like, more, I would say more people would like pay attention to somebody on the Joe Rogan podcast than they would like if it was just any other interview.
Oh,
And they
definitely,
should.
100%. Because he asks good questions.
Also, it's unedited. Like
Yeah.
that shit's
It's a-
really important.
Yeah, it's a good, especially when somebody that like you disagree with. Because some of my
Yeah.
favorite ones on there are people that like I just absolutely do not agree with.
Yeah.
That's one of the more fun experience. Anyway, Cody, you have yet to answer the question.
That's so hard for me.
It's probably not as hard as you think.
It is.
What's the album you've listened to the most in your life?
Probably of Mice and Men's self-titled album.
Okay. I would also probably put out there, if we're talking like alternative, throw a stick at any fucking Modest Mouse album, and I've probably listened to that like 37 times.
Oh yeah, Modest Mouse is great.
Rap is the hard one for me because like I don't listen to albums. I
Yeah.
just really pick.
It's tough. Like that was actually one of the hardest things for me getting into, like, because it happens all the time, even nowadays, where it's like I'll find a group or an artist, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, and then I go to listen. We were talking about John Wayne earlier. It's
Yeah.
like, I fucking love that guy's voice, and I love his production, but like his albums just don't come together.
Right.
Like Rap Album 2 just doesn't come together for me. It just
I
doesn't
think that
feel like
albums are tricky like that in general.
yeah.
They are.
I think any genre.
And I think that's why even if it's like
Captain Beefheart.
a rap group or a band is able to come up with albums better because it has input from so many other people
Yeah.
that can do anything. So
there are
like the
a few
drummer
that,
will
like-
write songs,
'cause, like,
guitarists.
Obviously, you could say like any Led Zeppelin album.
Right.
Any Beatles album. Well, actually,
Any
I wouldn't
Stones
say any
album.
Beatles album. I'm not a big fan of the Stones.
I
man.
love the Stones,
I'm not really that
man.
big of a fan. There's like, again, it's one of those groups where there's like a couple songs that I fucking love,
Yeah.
and the rest of it I just don't care for.
It's because most of their music's different.
It's too country for me.
It's-
it has too much
yeah.
of like a twang to it that I'm
It
just
is.
not after.
I like it because it's the old rock. Like that's rock, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Ooh, maybe Illmatic.
Illmatic's great. Black Star is a great group if you haven't heard of them.
Oh yeah.
That's a great, that's a powerhouse duo right there.
I've been listening to the same music since like 6th grade. I listen to the same
I honestly,
15
like,
songs
yeah.
on
my
repeat.
thing with my problem with music is that when I was younger, that was like right around the time that like torrenting got big.
Yeah.
Like 2006-ish. So it was like, it became more of collecting than it was actually enjoying the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
Oh, yeah,
I
I
got to
feel
a
that.
point where like, it was just a matter of like extending my discography of like what I had. So it was like, if I
definitely
liked
is
an
weird.
artist, it wasn't just that I had like one song or one album by them. I had to
Right.
have their entire,
Discography.
yeah.
Like,
That was a big problem for me for a while.
and it's also weird because we live in a time now where you don't have to buy a full entire album.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just make a playlist with 500 songs on it
Yeah.
from completely different people and just
Yeah, this is
throw it
before,
into
like-
what you want.
Or
Like,
from one artist that just all of their best stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly, you can just do that
this
now.
Is, yeah, like back then it was like you either listened to the radio or you found the music on your own.
Yeah.
You either like listen to a CD or you put it on your iPod. Back when iPods were a thing.
And you waited for that record label to
Violent
get
Femmes,
that album
I'd
out.
probably pick one of the Violent Femmes albums.
It's almost
That's
like
fucking
it's
good shit, too.
it's actually weird because it actually works in one way it takes away from, but in another way it really works for the artist.
Oh
Yeah.
Because like nowadays every artist
Gravy.
has just an album of their greatest hits.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, because we were talking about Eminem a while ago. We were talking about, because I think it was around the time, like right when Music to Be Murdered By came out, and Chaz and I were talking about, because Hunter doesn't like Eminem because he's young and doesn't understand what it was like to grow up.
Cody doesn't like him very much either.
I like Eminem. I just
We
didn't
grew-
like the new
like,
album.
I grew up with him, like, the first 3 albums came out right around the time when I started, like, cracking the surface of hip-hop.
Yeah.
So it was, like, my first real, like, deep dive into, like, oh, it's more than just what I hear on the radio. Like, there's actually, like, thought behind this.
Right.
Whether or not, like, it was something that I enjoyed, it was, obviously. There's a couple songs by Eminem where it was, like, especially younger, like, I think it was Drips. Whereas like, I
Yeah.
was just talking about like shit dripping from his penis.
Yeah.
Oh well, that was D12 shit.
Yeah, that's
but
old.
still, that was like around the time like when I was finding out about
Right.
Eminem. But there was this distinct sound to that kind of hip hop that was like iconic.
Yeah.
That the way that Dre puts together a beat and the way that M would have like the guests and those kinds of people would like fill in the vocals for it. That was huge. And now it's like one of the problems I think Eminem has not that he has like many, but because he's still a household name 20, 30 years later. It's just a disparity between what is the current genre of hip-hop and what the internet has done to musicians. Because like somebody like fucking Young Kraka can put up a song and get like 11 million hits, and it's like that kind of person would never find their way into like into being like
15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Well, that's why, like,
which is a good and bad thing.
That's one of the things about him being such a big deal is that, like, you know, nowadays you can't go online without seeing like who the next white rapper is.
Yeah.
There were no white rappers.
Yeah.
There was the Beastie Boys, and that was it.
Yeah.
And even they were like kind of more of a rock rap hype.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing that shit before he was. At least that the world could see.
Right.
Yeah,
like nobody was doing that on a global. Nobody was on a global stage doing that.
Yeah, I think you know, it definitely, I think, also contributes to the fact that the genre has changed. It's a lot more playful. The crowd has gotten a lot younger, and the tastes have changed. Like, it's not about being a thug anymore. That was kind of the reason why I think Eminem worked. Because, I mean, the dude came out of Detroit. He was like this little white boy from Detroit that was, like, breaking people with his words.
Right.
Because he had to. There was no
He was
way to
also,
survive.
like, interestingly enough, like, even though he was white, because he was in that genre, he was coming right off of a lot of fucking civil unrest with, like, you know, Rodney King and the LA riots and shit. Like, we were in a really weird, angry place. Like, Columbine happened, and, like,
oh, for sure,
things were shifting. And he was just like this angry white voice. And he also was getting away with saying a lot of stuff that other rappers would have never been able to get away with because he was white.
Yeah.
You know, the kind of shit that he was talking about was like, I mean, when you consider like how censorship driven the radio was against hip hop culture back then, and then to
He has a song about it.
And then meanwhile, he has a song where he's like killing his ex-wife with his daughter in the car,
putting her in the trunk and driving off with her. Yeah, I think again, it's a matter of, you know, and whether it's better or worse is subjective, you know, because I do think that there are some like SoundCloud rappers out there that really are just like, you know, somebody that, like, for example, Samsa. Dude is a lyrical genius. Right. What the hell was that?
I don't know, but I hope the mic picked it up. I hope that picked up on camera.
Yeah.
That's a callback.
Yeah. But, like, you know, somebody like him who's like this dude that just writes songs about like girlfriends being dead and trying to haunt him through a phone, or like, you know, an entire song called Tender Samurai.
Right.
Is something that like you would never see, but it's like a relatable kind of offshoot of what you could call hip hop, you know.
Also,
like,
it's so much younger than every other genre. Yeah. That's another thing too.
It is still a very fledgling genre, yeah.
I feel like hip hop is like the internet of music. In terms of how young it is and how quickly it's evolved.
Because it's simple, but it's also complex.
Because like it started as just like...
It's like the ukulele.
Right. Well, it was connected to this particular type of struggle because it came from that community.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time, it's now become this thing that's just like... It's just another method of delivery.
Yeah.
For whatever it is you want to do. Social commentary or like...
Just
anybody can do it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Making fun, like just playful, you know, angry, frustrated. It doesn't really matter. I think it's that it's such a blank canvas that there are so many different ways to interpret it. Whereas like rock and roll is rock and roll. Like that's it. Like indie rock is indie rock. Punk rock, there's a particular style to it.
Right.
Whereas hip hop has got so... I think it's... You know, it's funny too because now I'm thinking about like Eminem and like EDM and like... just the advent of like being able to create music on a computer and make it a lot easier than it is with like instruments. Talking about Moby, like nobody listens to techno, no Let's Go or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
No way.
You know, I think that does have something to do with it, that anyone with like, you know, GarageBand can make a hip hop song. You know, it's a lot easier than it is to do. And of course, like the difficulty comes from being able to put together lyrics and being able to put together coherent concepts and
wordplay.
Fit. Right, wordplay, you know, like being able to adequately portray the kind of thought that the beat is kind of giving you. Like it's more of like a an open canvas, whereas it's like you're kind of stuck into one lane if you choose to do something else.
Yeah.
You can still kind of mix it, but like
with like the
Operation
time
Ivy is always going to
thing.
be ska punk. Like anything that kind
Right.
of tries to be like anything that has a horn instrument in it with like a higher drum tempo, it's going to sound like ska.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I think that rock is that way because we have separated it into subgenres, whereas hip hop has never been separated with any subgenres, really.
It's
starting
given
to.
Yeah,
It's starting
but
to now, but like,
it's in a different way. Like it's all just kind of under one big umbrella. Whereas, like, you know, you can have like acid jazz, or you can have like
yeah. I mean, we went from Elvis Presley to
Right.
Twisted Sister in a matter of 30 years. So,
Yeah,
from a
but,
plane to a fucking moon
Then
landing.
again,
yeah.
then
All
again,
back to earlier episodes.
then again, with hip hop, we've gone from, you know, Slick Rick to Mad Child
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Lil Peep.
within
Yeah.
30 years. Like,
Exactly.
That's
But over
Man,
the course of
okay.
those 30 years, it wasn't really separated into a subgenre.
So,
Whereas you can't listen to like Elvis and then listen to Twisted Sister and be like, this is the same genre.
right.
Yeah.
You
I
can
mean,
do that
you
with
could say-
hip hop, it seems.
Maybe.
Like-
you could, like, I think you would.
And I mean that as a
find
compliment. Like,
If you were listening to like
It never
Big Daddy
lost its
Kane
roots.
versus like,
Big Crit or
Like
fucking
Watsky.
listening to-
yeah,
or like
yeah.
you know, like
Kendrick Lamar, and also listening to Peeps. The
I love
Candy?
Peeps.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
love
like
them.
'em.
I'm not a big sweets guy, but I don't know. I fucking love
they're
those
just
things.
like sugary,
Okay.
colorful
Chips.
marshmallows.
Yeah, it's just all sugar.
I
Which
know.
is fine.
It's just weird because
Chips.
I'd rather have a steak.
Chips or candy.
Chips.
I'm chips all the
Oh,
time.
Chips all
Candy,
fucking day, dude.
Yeah, I'm chips all day.
I'm a fat boy. It's
I
gotta be
fucking
candy.
steak, ice cream.
I dislike kettle chips though. Kettle chips can get.
I don't like kettle
Oh.
chips
Oh,
either.
you don't like kettle chips?
Yeah, that extra
don't either.
crunchy bullshit. Nah, fuck.
I'll
that
eat
noise.
them if they're in front
I want
of me.
like Pringles where it
but
turns to like potato mush in my mouth. Hell yeah.
What are the
Yeah.
best chips?
fucking Doritos. Oh my god, dog.
Lately, I would say Fritos. I would say Fritos are the most like,
Fritos, ooh.
satisfying chip.
Fritos and a bowl of chili.
You know
oh
what?
my
Chips,
god, bro.
There are two chips. The
There were
wavy,
several people on the show chips.
the wavy Lays
Yeah.
and Munchos.
Oh, Munchos are pretty good.
Munchos
Bugles,
are
though?
off the chain.
Bugles
Bugles.
are good, but like
Have you had the nacho cheese
Are
bugles?
bugles
Of
really?
course I have.
Oh, they're fucking bomb, dude.
dog?
Bugles
The
aren't
thing,
chips.
the one
Bugles are chips.
you could classify it as
They're a corn
you
snack.
would you could say that in the same way that you could say like
Fritos
fucking
aren't chips.
like pork rinds. are
According
chips.
to Wikipedia, they are a corn snack.
That was the most forced route I've ever given.
I fucking love Doritos.
Sounded
That's
like
all I
Kyle
know.
trying to burp. Kyle burping is just like one of the funniest things ever because like he's trying so hard, so it's like. "Ah!" it's never like guttural. It's always like he's like forcing air out. Like it's like it was
Like
wanted
there's
like it wanted to be a fart. And he was like, nah, it's gonna be a burp.
We go,
Like he's in an emergency.
Yeah, it's like he has to like force it out. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I love Kyle.
People also ask, are bugles unhealthy?
Of course they are.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that like
It doesn't
I
say
really
healthy
like the
corn
chili cheese
snack.
Fritos, and I really like the
Chili
flaming hot
cheese.
variant for.
I like the
Fritos.
honey barbecue twists.
Honey barbecue. Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, the honey
Open a bag
barbecue
of those,
twists
you
are
not
fucking
gonna
bomb.
Stop that shit.
Anything
That's
like
gone.
Flamin' hot Cheetos, though.
Oh, flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh
are
my
my
god.
jam.
It's too much.
I had the
Dude.
flamin' hot
You're
Doritos.
talking to me though, like.
Yeah, I don't need all
I
that.
don't.
So you know they made
what
those,
pisses
right?
me off though. I was like, oh, they do like flaming hot for all of their
Funyuns.
variants of chips. Now, flaming hot Funyuns are good. but,
Flamin' hot Funyuns are fucking bomb.
Funyuns are dope. But I was like, oh, they make like Lay's flaming hot. I was like, that's got to be good, right? It tastes like cat shit.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
They made-
it needs like a cheese.
They made Frito or Dorito flamin' hot.
Oh, yeah, those are
Just
good, too.
Powdered it.
Yeah, those are
flamin'
fucking
hot
good too.
powdering,
Dude,
dude.
if I could
Oh.
take the flaming hot flavor as like an IV, I'd do it.
Well, they
Oh, yeah.
they totally missed the chance to call those Dofritos.
The Fritos.
Oh,
I agree.
yeah, dude.
What the hell are they doing?
Dofritos.
I need to email their marketing department and be like, y'all,
Y'all,
what are you doing?
Y'all are sleeping
like
on
the-
Dofritos.
What is it? Why do we call astronomers astronomers?
I don't.
Why the fuck aren't they called scientists?
Oh,
And also,
hell
why
yeah.
are naval aviators called naval aviators? Why aren't they fucking naviators?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of missed opportunities. like that.
Scientist is bad.
Yeah, Scientist is good.
Scientist,
Scientist
yeah.
is fucking solid.
That's-
We're talking about like chips and stuff. I know this is like chips adjacent, but like fucking
Chips
fucking
Ahoy.
kettle corn can get fucked.
I love kettle corn.
Fuck kettle corn.
I love kettle corn,
You have
dog.
some real problems with stuff that's made with kettles.
Yeah, I don't like kettles. I don't trust them.
So do you not like popcorn?
Not really. It gets my teeth.
I love
There
popcorn.
you go. That's what it is, really. It gets in your teeth
Yeah.
because it's
Caramel corn.
It's pretty much.
I like caramel
burnt.
corn, but kettle corn just tastes horrible.
But that nacho corn that you can, or nacho popcorn
I
that
was
you
a
can
Boy
get at the
Scout for a while.
fucking.
No, I didn't get molested. But like we used to sell like the popcorn tins, and it's like, why the fuck don't we have cookies?
You know,
That's the stupidest shit ever. Who wants to buy fucking popcorn when you can buy fucking Samoas?
You know who definitely didn't get molested in the Boy Scouts? Somebody who says I didn't get molested.
No, it's just because I
immediately
the moment I said I was in
Boy
Boy Scouts, and I could tell Chaz, I'm like, what? No, I almost died a couple times though.
As a Boy Scout?
Yeah, because like we used to do like stupid shit. Like we built up a trebuchet, and like that thing, like
Put me in it, Captain.
yeah, fuck. But like once you like launch it, it's just like a fucking tree trunk that's like 30 feet tall that's just hanging out there. So I was like walking behind it, and it just kind of started to fall and just smacked me right on my head. And I was just like, oh god. I almost fell off a mountain one time.
What was the second time?
I almost got hit by lightning one time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's scary.
Yeah, I almost died a few times. That was awesome.
Did you see that one video? It would be quick. But they were standing at the top of a mountain. All of the rocks were all splintered and broken and all that shit. And they took a picture of their hair standing up on their arm. And they were like, hey, this is pretty cool. When I come up to this mountain, the hair stands up on my arm. And everybody was like, get the fuck out of there.
Oh my god.
Like we were in a clear cut area, and it was like been like 120 degrees the entire
Follow
week.
us on Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram.
And then like it
Said
rained
no
hella
big
hard,
banana.
and then just a lightning strike hit the ground in front of us, and we were like, fuck that, and just
Loud.
ran away. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like hit
Attaboys.
15 feet in front of my face.
NoBigBanana@gmail.com.
Watch out for that lightning.
And we'll
Dude, I would
see
love
you
to get
next
hit by
time.
lightning. That leaves a dope scar.
Look out for
Survive.
radiation while you're at it.
Yeah.
How many people die by getting hit by lightning? That's
Probably like 15 a year, some shit.
like